Hey y'all, it's layclea, and this is where beautiful souls connect.
Have you listened to Lay's podcast today?
Ooh, I wonder what Lay is talking about today.
This is where beautiful souls connect. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. This is where beautiful souls connect, and I am here with two of three lovely panelists. One of them could not be with us today, but he is dearly missed during this episode. So if you're watching this, we missing you. So, dang, mine didn't do the thing. No, we're not doing it. We're not gonna do this time. We're not gonna do this time. But so today's topic is something I thought would have been an interesting topic because I feel like we can all relate. But the topic is burning bridges and how do you deal with the fact that you are not a likable person? And the first topic that I want to hit on, or the first point that I want us to kind of define is like define likable, like likable by whose standards? I feel like the term a likable person is very, I mean, I just don't like the word. I don't like the word likable person, but for the sake of this discussion, we'll continue to use that phrase or whatever. But I feel like just because people don't like you doesn't mean that you're not a good person. Everybody's not going to like you, and you weren't created for everybody to like you. Like that's just point blank, period. And to kind of expand on that, some people's definition of a likable revolve around like what you won't let them do or what you let them do at your own expense. For example, me personally, I'm a caring person and I go hard for the people that I care about. But the only downside to that is, I kind of keep giving to people even when I'm not getting anything back. And I mean, that's okay. Like, I don't do things for people to reward me. That's not the goal of doing things. But after I reach a point of exhaustion, it's like, after so long you given, it's like you're not even matching my energy. You're not even trying at this point. So once I reach that point of exhaustion, I slowly stop doing things to make people happy and to go so hard for people. And mind you, I'll be doing this during the entire duration of whatever situation, friendship, relationship, or whatever the case. Then it seems as if I abruptly stop doing those things and then I move accordingly. Now, this person like no longer likes me because I'm weird or I'm acting different or whatever the case. Other examples of are other examples that I kind of can pinpoint right now are like jealousy, envy, or you simply don't appeal to that person and the type of vibe that they want to be around, so they don't like you. So, what do you think, like in your opinion, how would you define likable? What is likable and by whose standards are you likable?
Okay. Well, so for me, for a likable person, like just in general, I think someone that you can always just come to. Like if you just have a problem or you just want to say, hey, a likable person, somebody that you can just vibe around, be around, and just have a good feeling. And that's my definition of a likable. Like you said, a lot of people are not likable people because, I mean, for envy, like you said, jealousy and stuff. But for a likable person, I just think that's someone that you like to be around. Like it don't matter. Y'all could have something in common or you couldn't, but it's just something about that person in particular that makes them likable. That's just my definition.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, likable, like you said, like it's like a vibe because I don't really feel like it's like so whose standard it will be. I just feel like if we can't catch a vibe, can't talk, or we don't have things that's similar, I don't really feel like you know what I'm saying. Like it's kind of hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, because
Yeah.
if you don't like me, you don't like me. I just don't care. It don't bother me.
Right.
It don't really bother me. But it's like I mean, if we cool, we can vibe, we good. But
Right.
I'm not going on my way to impress somebody to make them like me. That
Right.
don't
I
work.
agree.
That's just the nature of the beast. Like, not everybody's gonna get along. Not everybody gonna like you, and it could be for simple little nonchalant things. But me personally, bro, you ain't gotta like me. I don't like you. Cool. Keep pushing.
Honestly, it is what it is. I truly don't believe that you should go throughout life living like, oh my gosh, everybody I meet ever has to like me. That's not
You
the
gonna
case.
lose yourself. You gonna lose
Exactly.
yourself trying to make sure everybody like me. Oh my God, let me make sure they do
No, and
this.
I mean, at the end of the day, even if at first you appear to someone as a likable person, and as they get to know you, they realize like, we don't have as much in common as I thought. I don't really like the way she navigates or he navigates. I don't like the way they do things, so I'm just gonna, kind of take a
All
step
that.
back. But what happens when that happens more often than not? Is there like room for some self-reflection? Like, dang, like everybody's taking a step back after a while, or am I just too strict with my life? Like, is it like I'm cutting people off for little things, anything?
At some point, like one of my lieutenants said, it's like we got this coworker and it seemed like she got a problem with everybody, right? She always
Right,
saying, "Oh, I don't have nobody I can get along with." And like my lieutenant said, she was like, "Well, at some point, you got to be the common denominator because all these people are saying the same thing. So
right,
what is it that you're not doing? You know what I'm saying?" So I look at it like that. I mean, that is a point where like, damn, if everybody's saying the same thing, everybody doing the same thing, what am I not doing? What
right,
am I doing? For people
right.
to like fall back off me. Like sometimes, we can get in the mood where we just be like walk around the club, fuck everybody, and start
Yeah,
cutting people off for no reason, just because we want to be in our own little zone. But then it's like you really be sitting back like, damn, like so and so don't hit me up no more. I wonder what's going on. And then you run into them and they real short conversation. But he'd be like, well, damn, why did like,
right. And
So
sometimes like I had to realize this, especially being a woman. I don't know if the same applies with men, but a lot of the times like people won't like you because somebody else don't like you. They have this third party hate,
Oh
third
yeah.
party beef, third party
yeah,
issue with you. They don't like you because their friend, cousin, baby mama, sister, and them don't like you. And they don't even know why they don't like you to begin with. It could be something that they did, but they don't like you
Mhm.
projection type of
Yeah.
thing. So it's kind of like in that aspect, you got to look at it like they don't like me because somebody else don't like me. Because if I were to sit down and have a conversation with them right now, they would be
Who's-
looking like,
Yeah.
why does this person not like you?
That's
and
why we
then
give the benefit of doubt because there's this new team leader like at my job or whatever. Everybody was like, he's not good. Like I don't like him. His vibe, his aura. And then they come and ask me. They was like, "What do you think about him?" I was like, "Well, I really don't know him yet. Like I won't just because they put him in that category or box doesn't mean that for me personally I would because everybody has a different outlook on that person. So
Yeah,
technically, maybe it's not just I do feel like self reflection is a good thing because if
it is
everybody don't like
important.
you, then
Yeah,
it's a problem. It's a problem regardless. But I feel like everybody should know that person for themselves before even having that judgmental
you're
thing.
right, and that's why I don't really, I like I was saying, I can go back to that point that I made earlier. Like a lot of the times, like people won't like you because you won't let them run over you, or you won't let them do certain things, or they're just envious, they're just jealous or whatever. So I just feel like the goal in life is not to be a likable person. That's the point. The point is not to be a likable person. The point is to live your life the best you can. If people like you, great. If they don't,
okay.
Stupid, yeah, girl.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's nothing that I can do about that.
And
So
it is the same way for men. Um, because I think about work, and I work. I think part of my work is because I wear a badge. So of course, dealing with these inmates, they're just looking at the badge. But then with me, I walk in there and it's like they see the badge, so everybody got a hate for the badge, so they feel like they gotta click up with everybody. But
Right.
then when they realize that, damn, that might really cool. He really laid back, like he ain't a bad CO, like you know what I'm saying. And now it's more of that. Okay, transition to I can respect you, but I don't have to like
Right.
you. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's where that like goes into just the general respect of okay, I'm a man, you a man. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
very much so, it gets catty because like, damn, are you a dude or are you a female? Because at this point, you liking me some for no reason because the next man don't like me because
Yeah.
of something I might have not done for him. So now you just on the bandwagon.
Right. But honestly,
So
I feel like a lot of this dislike amongst people or this dislike people may have for you, it could easily be resolved with the conversation. And a lot of the times the conversation can fix a lot of things. However, if you are dealing with people who are toxic and they're not trying to grow, they're not trying to heal, it's a waste of time. So
Yeah.
I just feel like you have to pick and choose your battles in that aspect. You have to realize who you're dealing with when it comes to not being a likable person.
mhm,
So
well, definitely.
on to the next topic. The next question. Does setting boundaries make burning bridges acceptable? Now, setting boundaries is something that I am very new to. I just recently started, setting my boundaries because I'm not gonna lie, I grew up a people pleaser. That's some stuff I got to go see the lady and sit in that chair about. But I grew up a people pleaser. And it's like I have to realize that people don't respect my boundaries, then they don't respect me. And overall, that's just, I mean, it's selfish. So in my opinion, it's acceptable. Like if I have to beg you to respect me, I I would much rather burn the bridge. We can just burn the bridge because you don't respect anything that I got going on. Like, and you don't respect what I got going on. You don't respect my boundaries. You don't respect me as a person. And I just feel
So,
like in that aspect, it's acceptable to go ahead and light that match. Whatever you got to do. Because I just feel like that's a little selfish in my opinion.
and that's a healthy
So,
thing to do, though.
Yeah.
I think everyone should, whether you're in a relationship, friendship, everyone should have boundaries because even in friendships, you have to have those type of things because, like you said, if you don't, then that friend's going to see that part in you and then try to run over you or just in general, even in a relationship. So I feel like everyone should set boundaries. But as far as like if a boundary was to get, should you just burn it? I'm very big on respect. So if I feel like I'm disrespected, that means you don't respect anything that I say or do. So like at that point, you have to burn that because at the end of the day, like you set the boundaries. You said this is what we're gonna do. This is how my standards are, and if you don't accept that, you got to go.
Yeah. I agree.
I can agree with that. Like I said, the boundaries are healthy, and that's part of protecting your peace. So if
It
I feel
is.
like you just causing a lot of ruckus, hey, well, we're gonna set that boundary, and then if you cross it, hey, then I just got to go ahead and bow out. It
Right.
ain't this friendship, and just ain't gonna be that.
Right. I really agree. Like, I mean, I feel like some of the times people don't respect your boundaries because in a way it stops them from getting their way. And that's the reason why people get so upset about you setting boundaries because it's like, oh my gosh, now she's not going to be doing this for me. Like, me. It's about me at that point. It's not even about your boundaries. And that goes back to that aspect of selfishness. I feel like you have to think about the person that you are friends with or in a relationship with. I think you have to think about them and where they're coming from and why they
Mhm.
decided to set that boundary, where that even came from. Because a lot of the times we don't set those boundaries right off the bat, but something happens or things happen over the course of some period of time. And it's like, okay, we got to stop doing this. I have to stop doing this. I'm not doing this anymore. You either can respect it and accept it, or, we just going to have to part ways.
But like back to piggyback off like what you said like you was a people pleaser, and I can relate to that because growing up I always try to make sure somebody else is good before even me. that,
Right.
like you said, that's something that you're trying to like get better at, because at that point, not even if that's a true friend of yours, everybody else around you is going to see that. So you
Right.
have to have certain boundaries, because if you don't, then that's the disrespect part comes, because people are not going to have value the same because there's no boundaries set. So
Right.
that's just to piggyback off about what you said. So I think if you don't do that, then they gotta go. They gotta
Yeah,
learn.
I just can't get with that. And I like I said, with this being something new that I've learned, it's kind of like people people get really disheveled when you set boundaries and you voice your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the reason why I had such a problem for a long time setting boundaries, because I'm a people pleaser. I don't like for people to be upset with me, but you're upset with me because I'm protecting myself. You don't care about me.
Very true.
So that is my opinion on that. Any other comments?
Um, no, well, so I like the whole boundary part thing, and how you say you're just learning that. So like my schedule and stuff would be so busy, but you'll be surprised about when you set a boundary. You like, even with my friends, they understand that, because like, oh, she's doing this and doing that. But when you set boundaries, it makes even your life around people make you a likable person. It's just to go back, because they see
Right,
that, so they see that in you, so that gives them more respect for you in general.
right.
I feel like that goes back to, if like what's defined of a likable person. I feel like if you do set that boundary and people see that, they respect you. So therefore, I don't think a bridge will burn. They see what you're going and what you're doing. That's just a piggyback on
And I feel like it can also go the opposite way, because that's why I was going back to saying, like, being a likable person is not something you should aspire to be, because you can set that boundary in the same breath and then someone not like you for it. Now you're
Yeah,
not likable to that
but that
person.
helps you see that that's the person that need to go.
Right.
At the same
Right.
time,
That just kind of like
yeah,
cancels that person out for sure.
yeah. Because if you got
They
someone
feel
that's
like
likable, go ahead.
they feel like they losing access to you
Yeah.
until what you
Yeah.
do for them. So it's like they end up like having an issue with it. But if you really rock with me like that, then what I'm doing, like she said, everybody around her understands. So everybody just like, it's cool, she doing her thing. But you know what I mean? There should be no reason for somebody to not like you for setting a boundary. That's just crazy. You
That is
know.
crazy. I just feel like that is a list of things. I feel like it's selfish. I feel like it's childish. I feel like if you are that person who gets upset at somebody for setting boundaries, I feel like you have some growing and some healing to do for sure. And I just want to know, like, if you are that person, like, why do you feel so attacked, or why do you feel so upset because somebody set a boundary? I'm
You
just
know,
I would like
well,
to know the answer to that.
with I feel like too with our we all close to the same age, right? So with our I guess our generation, I'll say
Mhm.
that way of healthy communication and learning what boundaries are to set them is why we have a lot of these problems that we do have.
Yes,
I'm
I
just be
agree.
honest. It takes somebody to go through something like hell and high water for them to understand. Oh, this is how I'm supposed to communicate effectively.
Yes.
Oh, this situation is like this. Well, let me create this boundary. It's like I'm not faulting our parents for not maybe showing us how to do that because somebody didn't show them how to do it.
Exactly.
So it's like I feel like that's when that comes into play too. Like people just don't really understand the true definition of what a boundary is
That, and I
and how to
think that
communicate
is
boundaries.
that's a lot of the sources to the issues. I mean, nowadays, at our generation, like you said, we are definitely learning the importance of mental health, setting boundaries, trying to kind of dismantle these years and centuries of generational trauma that was built on top of generation and generation and generation. We are learning how to dismantle all of that. Granted, it's not going to happen in one generation. However, that
Yeah.
is something that we've started to to kind of chip away at. And I feel like it's a good start. But like you said, it's not on our parents 100%. Like they're dealing with years of generational trauma as well.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to navigate life when you don't know any better.
Mhm. And then it's hard for them too, because they always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So this
And let me
new
tell you
stuff that we're
something.
learning, they
When you
not really
are that
going.
person in your family that is dead set on changing things and setting boundaries and bettering yourself and all that stuff, when you present that to your older family members, of course to them it's going to come off as what? Disrespect. It's going to
Yep.
come off as a whole list of things. You know how that older generation is. It can come off as a whole bunch of things, and they do that because they don't know any different.
Hmm.
So that is why it has to start. If you have to go and sit in them people chair, sit. Sit
Transparency
in
moment. I
them
know
people
I
chair.
do.
You sit
I
in them.
know I do.
It's no shame. It's no. This is why I create mental health content, because there's no shame in going to see a therapist, going to work through some things. Because I'm gonna be honest, this may come as a shocker to you, but you don't know everything.
No.
Oh my gosh, look, listen. Call
You
me the
know.
bad person. I may not even be likable for saying that, but you don't know everything. And honestly, you will be surprised what you learn if you go talk to somebody. It's gonna take some trial and error. The first person you talk to may not be the best person you
Yep.
talk to. You might be discouraged, but I just feel like that's an important thing that you should try to implement into your life, so that when it comes time to set boundaries, you do it the proper way and you know how to communicate to those around you who don't know anything about setting boundaries or things like that.
I hope that's a topic one day so we can speak on it. I'd
We
gladly speak on
definitely
that.
speak on that. I think
Yeah.
that should be the follow up to this actual podcast so people don't forget what we was talking about. So that may be our follow up topic. But question number 3: what are some reasons that you've burned bridges?
That no one didn't respect me.
Listen, I'm a burn bridges by that respect every
I know
time.
that's
I
like
never
that's like a
cared.
big pet peeve of
Some
mine. I
things,
don't know why.
some things are forgivable. Some things are up for
Mhm.
discussion. But I feel like if you don't have to like me, like you said, you don't have to like me, but you will respect me. And if you don't respect me, there is nothing else for us to discuss. Because once it starts getting disrespectful, that is when I start getting disrespectful. And everything that I learned in that little chair is going out the window. So let's be
That's the worst part
respectful.
because I'm
Before you get
telling you.
ugly, you just bow out.
And that's why that is the importance of setting boundaries, growth, because if we set the boundaries, then there's no need for
Mhm.
us to get ugly, because we already know, like, we already know what
Well,
we're dealing with. But so burning bridges, the reason you burn bridges is respect. What are some disrespectful things that people have done to let you know, like, this person don't respect me, they don't respect what I got going on, they don't respect my life, my time, whatever the case.
definitely when you confide in somebody and like you telling them, you know what I'm saying, you telling them what you got going on, but then they take that bone like a little dog, carry that shit to everybody else,
Yeah.
and give them a little piece of that bone. And by the time you sat there and think about it, damn, how so and so know that? Because I only told so and so. Yeah,
Uh,
but I
okay, yeah,
can't fuck with you. And that's simple. But I
right.
mean, and then you got some bridges, even business wise, you have to burn.
I agree.
Business that it's not gonna benefit you.
I
It's not gonna
agree. I agree. I feel like something that I had to learn, especially with my modeling, is that every photographer is not meant to be worked with. I will not just work with anybody. And I say that to say, because I've been doing this for a couple years and trial and error. And I feel like some photographers, they just look at me as just another model. They don't respect my time. They don't respect the energy that I put into what I do. Cause granted, I get it. You the person with the $1,000 camera. I get it. But me, I can work with anybody and get pictures. I'm not pressed for pictures. But what irritates me is I buy a wardrobe, get my hair done, do my makeup, do all of these things, and then we don't communicate. There's no shooting about I don't care about the pictures. It's not about the pictures. It's about my time because that spot that I gave you could have went to a photographer who really wants to work with me. So that is the reason that I've burned bridges from that aspect. Friendship wise, or I guess associate wise, people that I communicate with, I've been on a cleanse for about maybe a month now. And when I go out with with my people, I'd be like, hey, like I can't do that. Like I'm on a cleanse right now. So like basically just respect that. When you see how people react to that, like whenever you decide to go on a cleanse and you tell the people closest to you, please pay attention to how they act. It may not be that they don't respect, but the fact that you're on a cleanse, they don't respect. Because I've gotten so many different reactions to that, and it's very mind-boggling. I'm not saying I burned bridges because of it, but I definitely got my eye on them.
What? So you're saying like they didn't respect your cleansing, or they just said
No,
like, they just start
it was
talking?
more so like it would be like, oh, I understand that, I get that, and then they would turn around and try to get me to do the same thing I'm cleansing from.
Well, the soldier line, yeah, see. They just not picking up what you putting down,
No,
clearly.
no, 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 and that's okay. That's okay. I get it because it's probably routine to them for me to be doing these things, but I have to remind you, like, hey, like I told you, I want to
Yeah.
cleanse, so I can't do that.
Right.
Or if people will be like, oh, she on a cleanse, she thinks she better than everybody else. Huh?
Well, damn, I'm sorry, I'm in touch with myself. Oh,
That's all I was about to say. Well, excuse me.
myself.
You tell the Lord that.
Tell
But
Actually.
you're not.
So it's not some things like I give a little bit of leeway. I don't like the match right away, but and that's like I said, that's the softness in me. I'm not gonna burn the bridge right away
Yeah.
because I believe in like giving second chances, and I do believe that people can change. I believe that and giving the benefit of the doubt essentially. But you don't have to show me too many times before I'm like, okay, at this point you just taking advantage of me.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Me as an age, I can't do that.
oh God.
Awful. Things
What you
come
say? You
like,
can't do that?
I, they don't like me, I don't like them. As an Aries, I can't. Once you
Well, we
cross
big
that line,
Virgos over here. The
I'm
biggest, the
sorry.
biggest
Y'all
Virgos.
Aries,
I'm
y'all
telling
like be peaceful.
The biggest.
When you start that, you will never hear from me. And I really, when I burn a bridge, I blow that thing up. Wow, I walk past you like I don't know you.
Explosives?
you.
Yeah, I'm serious.
That is
Listen,
nuts.
I'm not trying to be funny.
TNT? Oh man.
I'm being so serious. And at one point I was like, okay, maybe you're being childish about it. But then when I got older, it's just like, bro, I don't, like now I can be cordial, but I'm still
Right.
not comfortable. I will
So
walk past you.
my question is, have you ever like burned a bridge and looked back and was like, you know what? I didn't need to burn the bridge because of that. Like that's something that we could have worked out.
Yeah, I
Or
have.
be- or do you look back at it and be like, you know what? I was not mature enough for that conversation to be had or to accept what they were trying to tell me, and I didn't need to burn that bridge.
To handle it differently. I will say there's been a couple of times where maybe had I had known how to effectively deal with it
Mm-hmm.
or address it without being rude and nasty
Right.
about it, it probably could have been one of the situations like, hey, have a little come to Jesus meeting and be like,
Right. Like you said, it could have been up for discussion.
right,
Have
like
you gone
I'm a
back and
old man
like?
of faith. Yeah, like, but 90% of the time that's not the case. But
I was asking because I thought about that the other day. Now, don't get me wrong. There is not one bridge that I've burned that I'm like, that. I mean, I was wrong. I mean, there may be a few. There may be a few that I was like, we could have talked about that. That could have been, but
It's tough.
at that, we could have had a discussion. But there are those few bridges that I think back to, and I'm like, I should have burned that. I should have burned that faster. I should have been burnt that bridge. Matter of fact, I should have brought some of the TNT Mr. Maverick got and blew it up. I should have blew it up. So
But sometimes you get
I
blinded
mean,
by that shit,
dynamite.
though.
I'm
You get
talking dynamite.
blinded,
Sometimes you be in situations you don't realize, like reflection on past situations, you don't realize how badly someone disrespected you or treated you until you get to a point where you've grown and you look back and you be like,
man, well, I sat there and took that. That's
I
crazy.
took that. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Like I would never tell nobody this story. I'm embarrassed.
But it depends. But it's like you say, you're a people person and stuff. It depends like who you are as a person. He said like he's an Aries. Like once you do that, it's done for. Like you're done for. And like you said, if with us, we're like, okay, we're gonna give you a chance. We're gonna give you a benefit.
Right.
Now we're gonna try to work with you.
Right.
But it's about like it when you do go back further in life and be like, dang, we could have talked it out. We could have sat down, da da da. But at the end of the day, I'm very big and firm on everybody's in your life for a reason and for just a season. So
Right.
like if that person was meant to stay in that time, even though you forgave him and you shouldn't, that person was meant for that. Because
Agree.
now where you are today, it shows you like, you know what? I can't believe I did that. But it shows you now to not to take that for the next person so that you'll have that boundaries to like, yeah,
Right.
we ain't there. So like even what Maverick said, he was like, he's just quick to explode. If he was to say like, okay, I'm exploding this person, but think like, oh man, maybe I could have worked it out. Nine, I'm gonna say like maybe 7 out of 10, he did right because they're not meant to be in your life. Like if you felt that bad of a need to explode on them, just because you probably have a feeling for that person doesn't all necessarily mean they're meant to be in your life at that.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. And honestly, like I feel like a lot of that comes with growth because all of these are learning experiences. The things that you experience with people, whether good or bad, they're all learning experiences at the end of the day. So it's kind of like whether I like look back and be like, dang, like that was a crazy time in my life and I accepted all that, or whether I'd be like, no, I should have burnt that bridge. I'm good for doing that. Either way it goes, it's a learning experience. So now you know the signs of when somebody is doing a certain thing to you, or somebody's trying to manipulate you, somebody is trying to use you, somebody doesn't respect you. You kind of that comes with age, comes wisdom, and all of that good stuff. And I just feel like those experiences are super important. Like you said, everybody's meant to be there for whatever time they're meant to be there for, and for whatever reason they want to be there for. God is obviously trying to teach you something.
Wow.
You know what it is until later on in life, but he's trying to teach you something.
Agreed.
You might not understand it now.
Mm-mm,
And
mm,
you're not.
mm-hmm.
Right.
Well,
Listen, don't take us to church now.
I'm telling you.
from the church now. Man, you know, amen, amen.
Oh, not amen, Lord Jesus. So that is all the questions that I have. Do y'all have any last remarks, comments, questions, concerns, advice for our viewers?
Stay true to self. Set those boundaries. Don't don't uh don't give in to what people want. Give in to what you need. Because your needs are
I
more important than your wants. So
Yes,
I,
as an a people pleaser, a formal people pleaser, still working on that. I still do some people pleasing, but I'm working on that. Anyways, as a former people pleaser, I would say that if people are willing to run you ragged to get what they want, those are not the people for you. They are not. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to like set boundaries because sometimes you got to do it with your family. Sometimes you got to do it with the person that is the closest to you. Sometimes you have to do that, and it's going to be hard, but I guarantee you, you will feel such a sense of relief once you actually do put yourself first. Because if you don't put yourself first, you're not going to have anything to give. You're not going to have, you cannot pour from an empty pitcher. And honestly, if you are being a people pleaser and nobody is giving anything back to you, you're just giving and not receiving anything. And then when you finally reach that point of exhaustion, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to come down hard. And you don't want that. And you don't want to be in that place where it's like, I'm doing all of these things for these people and nobody's doing anything for me. You don't want that feeling, because for me personally, when I reached that point, it was kind of a shutdown. Now everybody's wondering, like, what's wrong with Lay? Because they don't see what you're doing for them or everything that you're giving them until it's over, it's done. So please don't be that person. If you are, please work on it, or try to get help, or whatever it is that you need to do. But that's just coming from me because that's something that I've experienced.
And my advice would be set boundaries now so you won't have to go with burning that bridge or feeling the way, like you said, drained. If you set who you are as a person, whether that person like you, they'll take you for who you are, or if they don't, you don't have to worry about, dang, I blew up on them, or are they gonna be my true friends? If you present yourself who you are automatically, then they either take it or leave it. And if they leave it, you keep going who you are. And if they accept it, take them with you. That's just my advice.
So yes, definitely take what we said into consideration. We are here to help as always, because this is where beautiful souls connect. And this has been our podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. I'll put, like, our Instagrams are already here, but I'll put Alma's in here as well, so you guys can follow her on Instagram. If you are looking to book some pictures, Mr. Maverick over here, the biggest. So make sure you go follow his photography page. And if you looking and not booking,
What you
Hit the
doing?
stepper.
what
Hit
are
the
you
door.
doing?
Hit the
What are
door.
you doing?
Hit the
Miss
door.
Alma, she does a plethora of things. She does have her own YouTube channel. She does do lashes. So make sure if you looking and you're not booking, hello.
When you
What
look,
you
you
doing?
get a book.
What are you doing? Like,
You
and
talking.
Maze, Hayes, I said Maze. Hayes, he is not here right now, but he is also a photographer, and he does a plethora of things as well. So make sure go follow him. And if you're looking and not booking, what are you doing?
Hit the
Obviously,
stepper. Hit the
get to
door.
stepping, okay? So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, support everything that we have going on, because we're gonna support y'all in return. And let us know in the comments what are reasons that you've burnt bridges, and what did you think about our topic for today. But that is all. We love you guys, and we thank you so much for watching, and we're out.